Hey there, it's been a minute, and I haven't done anything regarding vlogs in a little while, so I was thinking we could probably get back into that, and I've got a little bit of a name change. Instead of like ODINQuest or SATURQuest or TiersQuest or PhraseQuest or like that based on the day, I'm just gonna follow it up, and it's just gonna be called VLOGQuest. Alright, so here we are. Welcome to VlogQuest. So, what's been going on lately? Well, I haven't done this in a while. And, so just a few updates, nothing major. Um, One is what do I have lined up for content? Well, I've got a number of videos currently in a holding pattern because I need to wait for something to happen in order to move forward with it. Things of that sort. And I do have a few things I'd like to give you in this one here, so we'll go around and I'll talk about those. And what else is going on? I don't know. Well, let's see. Well, here we're in the kitchen, and spring's right around the corner. So what we have to do is we have to start getting ready for spring cleaning, as it were. So I don't have anything really major going on for major spring cleaning, but I do have a couple of things. So one of them is right here in the kitchen. So I'm going to get this thing spun around and we'll take a look real quick. My ceiling fan. So here we are. Now, generally, I only like to do this once a year, so there's always plenty to do with it as far as, when this thing is on, it just collects dust. And if I reach up here and I run my finger, if I can grab a whole bunch. I mean, look at this. So I have to do the fronts of all of the blades. So that's one thing. Yeah, so given that, it's, I have to use a step stool that I've got for it. And, that's, it's not a major issue or anything like that, but because of my medical issues up here, I lose my balance easily, and so I have to take it very carefully, very slow. So that's what we've got for that. But let's show you a couple of things that I've done over at the computer station, and we've got some other news regarding the living room. So I'll kind of talk about that a little bit. Okay, so here we are at my desk. That's my workstation. I've currently got my project board up because I'm working on VlogQuest. That's that bottom one in the center there. That's that card. And so one of the things I just did today was over here. You can see I've got back there, it looks like a little piece of retro-y thing. That is a network switch. I just threw some contact paper on the top of it to give it that retro look. I call it retrofying. And of course, we've got a whole bunch of cables and stuff like that. It's, I can't really make a neat mess of that if I tried. But what I did is you can see down here, I've got this cord here. That is a power cord for the power supply for Scotty. So, and Scotty's my laptop, my backup station laptop. And this is the power supply. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I want to have this always available to use for Scotty when I bring her out to do maintenance, and but I don't want it plugged in all the time. So what can I do? Well, if this was plugged in all the time, it would be energized the whole time, and it's a power supply, which means there's a draw, stuff like that. How can I have it somewhat plugged in and not have a draw on it? Well, that's where the actual part that has the plug right here. So this is energized, but because of all that rubber and plastic, it's not going to hurt anything. So it's energized, but it doesn't have a draw. So we leave that plugged in all the time, and I can just reach down, grab it, plug it in, and there we go. So now over on the other side. So I move my chair over. There we go. There's the other mess. There, that is a power strip. And of course, with all of the different plugs, they don't exactly agree on their placement and stuff like that. I have to plug them in odd ways and just to get them to fit. You can see I've got a network switch back there. That is, I've named my switches as causeways. It's a Battlestar reference. And my modem is right off to the right of that. So what I did was, this shouldn't be here. That's my embossing label. Crimper doodad. So, and we can see I've got a couple of cords hanging here. So this blue one, this is a network cable that I need to have here. And that right there is a power cable. And there's going to be a purpose for that. That's for Cobalt, Battlestar reference. That's going to be the name of a server box. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So, and of course, all of this is down here. And I can't make that any neater that I can think of. Jay's 2 cents. Jay may say, repeat the word cable management. But the thing is that that's only manageable if you have the lengths of the cords in agreement with how you want to do it. All of my cords are either too long or either too short, and I just can't operate with that. It just doesn't work, especially behind this thing. Of course, there's Solaria and Odin. They're doing their thing. So there we go. So then we've got the thing that's next to that mess. So why don't we take a look at that? Yeah, so down there's the workstation. There's that mess down there. And then this here. This is, doesn't look like it right now because we've got all this stuff on it. Well, this is a futon that is currently being used as a guest bed. And just to give it a heads up, Donner Strike is moving out. She's my housemate. She's already kind of, as far as her body goes, she's already left. But we've got a whole bunch of her stuff here, and I am not in any rush on forcing her to get out with it all. So she doesn't need to get a moving truck. She can't really afford it right now. Neither could I. So either way, I'm like, it gets done when it gets done. So no rush on that. So we've got all that stuff there. A couple of things here are mine. Like there's the Valkyrie. So that's a Battlestar reference. That is an HP Pavilion G6. And I got that back in 12, towards the end of 12. But this is a futon. And it's on a frame. And it's foldable. It can be folded up to be a couch. So it would go like this and then come up. So my plan for this is that right now it comes out from the wall and goes all the way to here. So let's take a quick little walk over here. All right. So there you go. There, you can see it. You can see that it actually comes out into the room like a little more than halfway. And so I'd like to recover some of the floor space on here. So the idea is to basically pull this out a little bit, fold it up back into I'll say couch mode, and then turn it 90 degrees that way, and then shove it up against the wall. That table back there will be slid out this way and will reside right here in front of the vertical blinds, and I'll do that, and then I'll have additional seating for whatever I need. So there we go. All right, so now we're in the den. There's the proton pack. And there is my backup streaming station that I do for the Switch to Linux streams when I can't be doing it out on Solaria. I do it from here. That's Scotty. So it is a Windows machine, but and it's Cylon because it's Microsoft. However, I have denied it telemetry capability. So there we go. And just to the left here, we have that thing. This is Cobol. This is a Dell Precision T3500, 3500, and it's got a Xeon processor in it. So this is effectively a server box, and based on the stickers, you got your Intel Xeon and Windows 7. So this is a Windows 7 machine. In my eyes, Windows 7 was the last best iteration of Windows. And do I necessarily want to get rid of it? Probably not, because I can run all kinds of updates using Legacy Updater. There's my studio mic for in here. And so what am I going to do with this? Well, why don't I kind of show you? All right, so we're back out here. Here's the futon. So the idea is, of course, there's the power cord and the network cable for Cobol is right there. And the idea is to basically stuff Cobol underneath. Hence why this has to be turned 90 degrees and put up there. It's not just to recover floor space, but it's to have an easy spot to store Cobol whenever I want to go ahead and use it. So when this is turned, it'll get stuffed right underneath, and you'll be able to see it like right here. It can be stood up, stored, however you want to have it, on its side, because there's feet on the side that can be used, and it'll look perfect to lay it down on its side, and it can have the front poking out here. I do have plans on retrofying it or giving it a custom paint job. So I don't have any time frame for it. So this gets done when it gets done. So yeah, you haven't seen this really in any videos and until now, because there was no point. So now there's a point. Maybe I'll bring you on that journey when I do that change. I'm going to need help, so I may have Donna Strake help me out with that. So, there we go. In BusterQuest news, if we can actually, I'm not going to do a dedicated BusterQuest for it, but just a little bit of an update for the Two in the Box HasLab crowdfunding campaign project for Hasbro for the Two in the Box Ghost Trap and PKE meter. That was the actual campaign was back in most of November and the first week and a half of December, and the crowdfunding was met. All of the stretch goals were met, and we will be receiving our traps and PKE meters by the end of fall of 24. So this year. My guess, call it a wag. It's a wild guess. Prophecy. That was my prophecy, which I've already mentioned in the BusterQuest videos, is that, okay, well, if we look at the Proton Pack campaign, they said that those would be received by spring of 2023. Okay, so I've had it a year, so yeah, they said by spring of 2023, and right after the year ticked over to 23, we started shipping them out. So given that, because it was so early, we can expect the same thing in this HasLab. So by the end of fall 2024, tells me before Halloween. So we're going to do that. We're going to go on that. And that's what my bet is. So we'll see if I win that bet. Okay. So it's now been about 3 months since the campaign ended, the crowdfunding campaign. It's been about 3 months. And, of course, none of us have heard a thing. And, of course, folks out there, it's like if you go out on, let's say, like Reddit, and, I already knew what the answer was. So I went out on Reddit and I posted in the appropriate Ghostbusters thread, hey, where can I go online to see project updates? And one response came in, and the guy said, there isn't any. You're just going to receive it when they send it. And I'm like, I already knew that. So, as a backer of a crowdfunding campaign, now I can't speak for everybody. However, it's my thought that because it was a crowdfunding campaign, that the backers of the campaign are entitled to not frequent but occasional project status updates, like once a month, where every single one of them receives an email saying, hey, here's what happened this month. And it doesn't have to be drilled down specific, oh, this is the style paint we chose, or these are the style screws we chose, or anything like that. Just a general kind of thing, like a bullet point. This month we worked on the handle, let's say, or we figured out the mechanics for the doors of the trap, or we worked on the motors, decided on the motors for the wings on the PKE meter. We obtained all the necessary sounds. Granted, they probably already did, but I'm just throwing rough examples out there. Stuff like that, bullet points. Once a month. That's all I'm asking. It's all I'm expecting. And I'm not getting that. So we are kept in the dark during this whole process. And because it's happened, happened in the last one for the proton pack, I haven't backed up. I haven't backed any other campaigns or anything. So, based on the proton pack, that it's the policy, or the habit at least, of Hasbro to be like, thank you, and that's it. Thank you for the money. We'll let you know. Can't say it's rude, but it's not really nice. But anyhow, so yeah, so for folks over at Hasbro Pulse, that division, it would be nice to receive once a month a short bullet point status update on the project. As a backer, I'm entitled to that, I feel. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people. There's over 20,000 of us. Well, maybe. I mean, there may have been multiple orders by the same person, just separate orders. But in either sense, there are thousands of us. And we're kind of entitled to status updates. And, it's like, and not to the point of like, oh, well, we'll give you a status update when there's something new that we're going to give you, or a little bonus that we're going to give you. That's fantastic. That's great. But I think we're actually due regular updates once a month, let's say, or every 2 months at most. Just a general status on how's it going? How's it coming along? So, yeah, there we go. In the world of Raspberry Pi, I got these reactivated, and I've got the video for was it TextQuest? I can't remember, but I should rename it to Raspberry Quest because it's about the raspberries. These are my file servers. One is for me, which is over here, and I've got one over here. It's this guy. There's two here, and there's two here. These two are the ones that are currently plugged in and being used for something. These aren't clustered together or anything like that. It's just two. I've got these cords plugged in for the sake of aesthetics. I like things to match. So, but they're running. And so I got a file server here and I got a file server here. The individual cards are called CoWoS, Aurora, Uppsala, and Geffen. So this was my original Craftian production server for Minecraft until I stopped playing it because of Microsoft. I don't play Minecraft anymore because of Microsoft. They own it now, and I don't want to use a Windows or Microsoft login in order to play a stupid game. But I also kind of shot myself in the foot because I'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, we're in my bathroom, and that drain right there. This thing is really bad. I'm going to have to talk about this out in the other room. So I just wanted to let you know I cleared out a drain, and that's it. And I'll tell you about that. Yeah, that drain. It's I've mentioned before when I was working on the raspberries that I'm in a condo, and I'm at the bottom of the building. So these buildings were built 50 years ago plus. And so the original piping for drains, the units, so each floor, these units are same design, and they all share the same drain pipe. And that drain pipe comes from the kitchen sink and the bathtub. So that's both shower and bath, stuff like that. So everything from let's say third floor or all the higher floors, they all come down and they meet up with the bottom, and then goes out to the water drainage system. So the problem I have, I'm at the bottom. So anybody that washes stuff down their sink drain collects at the bottom. And, once enough has collected, it causes a backup in the tub, and, it starts to cause water to back up. No junk comes up or anything like that. It's just the water. And, it comes up, and then, if you let it go long enough, you can start filling up the tub as you're taking a shower. And this one, I switched the shower head, and that's when I really noticed it, because it has a higher flow, higher amount of water volume, and it started to cause it to get higher. So my solution was twofold, I guess. I used fantastic French ingenuity, which wasn't much. I just took a stock pot, filled it with water, got it to boiling. But the trick was I took some dish soap, squirted it down into the drains. And that's two drains, the kitchen sink and the bathtub. And then I would pour half of the boiling water down, let that sit for a moment while it, broke up anything, with that hot water. It would break it all up, and then I'd squirt a little more in there and then pour the rest of it in. And then I would repeat that 3 pots over. So in each drain. So I would do that for both the sink and the bathtub. Um, in a what my hopes are is that it took it from both sides of the clog, and it seemed to work because that thing is flowing really easy now, and it's been working great. And yeah, I still get a little bit of a backup, but I think that's because of the pipe portion that goes from the actual drain in the tub to the vertical pipe. The vent pipe goes down to the main pipe. That horizontal pipe, it's only about, and this is just a wild guess, but I think it's about that big. So 3/4 of an inch, maybe, maybe, hopefully, because it's perfectly clear, but because of the amount of water that's flowing through it, it just backs up. It might actually be only a 1/2 inch because it backed up pretty easily. So, but it's draining nice and smooth now, and of course, because of it backing up, it got it all dirty with So I went in there with a Mr. Clean stain eraser, or the eraser thingies, and got that all cleaned out, and it looks great in there, and it drains just fine. So yeah, so French ingenuity, I guess. So yeah. In the world of the Odin machine, that's the machine that these videos are edited on, and I play my one game. Yeah, it is Windows, but just like with Scotty, I've denied its ability to use telemetry back to Microsoft. So anything dealing with, say, Microsoft updates or anything like that, I only allow it to call out to them when I physically tell it to. The rest of the time, it doesn't send anything automatically. So, but with that machine, Odin, the power supply died. So I had to get a new power supply. And what I ended up getting was a refurbished supply. It's a Corsair. And what I had before was a Gigabyte. And that particular model, I guess it had a habit of not necessarily exploding, but catching fire. This one never did. I mean, I've got it right over here. So why don't I actually grab it? All right, so I threw the light on just to help out a little bit. So here's that power supply. It's a Gigabyte. It's an 80 plus gold. The model is a P750GM. And, it ideally, I mean, in actuality, it still works with one caveat. It's got a bad relay. That's it. That's the only thing that's wrong with this thing. It worked fine otherwise. So all that needs to be done is just to switch out the relay. And that's it. That's why I haven't just recycled it yet. If you're going to work on a power supply, you got to know what you're doing, and you got to know how to do it safely. You don't just crack these things open and start mucking around with stuff. You have to know exactly what you're looking for and how to handle it. I have a little experience with it. I haven't had a whole lot of need to go into these things, but switching a relay, yeah, I can pull that. And the major concern is the capacitors in it, because a capacitor can hold a charge for X amount of time. This has not been powered up, and so any charge that was in the capacitor is all gone by now. So I can pretty much freely go in here freely and do what I need to fix that relay, and it's pretty simple. And it's a modular one, which is really good. Hence all of these plugs. You got your 24 pin, you got your PCI cords and everything like that. So yeah, so there we go. So I'm holding on to it for the time being. I may still end up just getting rid of it, but here we are. As far as dinner quest goes, haven't really had anything lately, so I'm not making anything fun or anything like that. I'm just doing my usual, which isn't a whole heck of a lot. So yeah, we are. Ta-da! There's the stove. So yeah, all right. Get that off. And we'll go back and we'll sit down at the computer desk. All right. So, yeah, that's... Get out of there so the the shadow from the phone doesn't get on there. So let's see. Drain clog, Raspberry Pis, 2 in the box, power supply. That's all I've got. And of course, this is long enough, but the added stuff, the futon, the cords, stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. As far as other videos go, I have some on in a holding pattern right now till other stuff happens, and there we go. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for coming along, and give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that happy joy, and we'll catch you in the next video. So, Skál, and if I can get my cup here, to Horn Cup, so drink to victory.